Noble Captain, you are welcome. You have not been a lodger of mine this year and a half. You know the custom, sir. Hand me down those fetters there.
Those, Mr. Lockett, seem to be the heaviest of the whole set. With your leave, I should like the further pair better.
Look ye, Captain, we know what is fittest for our prisoners. When a gentleman uses me with civility, I always do the best I can to please him. Hand them down, I say. We have them of all prices, from 1 guinea to 10, and 'tis fitting every gentleman should please himself.
I understand you, sir. The fees here are so many and so exorbitant that few fortunes can bear the expense of getting off handsomely, or of dying like a gentleman.
Now those, I see, will fit the captain better. Take down the further pair. Oh, do but examine them, sir. Never was better work, how genteelly they are made. They will fit as easy as a glove, and the nicest man in England might not be ashamed to wear them. If I had the best gentleman in the land in my custody, I cannot equip him more handsomely. And so, sir, I leave you to your private meditations.
To what a woeful plight have I brought myself! Here must I all day long, until I am hanged, be confined to listen to the reproaches of a woman who lays her ruin at my door. I'm in the custody of her father, and to be sure, if he knew of the matter, I should have a fine time of it twixt this and my execution. But I promised the girl marriage. What signifies a promise to a woman? Does not a man, in marriage itself, promise 100 things that he never means to perform? Do all we can, women will believe us, for they look upon a promise as an excuse for following their own inclinations. But here comes Lucy, and I cannot get from her. Oh, would I were deaf!
You! Base man, you! How can you look me in the face after what has passed between us? See? Perfidious wretch, how I am forced to bear the load of infamy you laid upon me. Oh, McKee. Thou hast robbed me of my quiet. To see thee tortured would give me pleasure. With pleasure, heart goes pit and pat in revenge for her
see a husband in these conditions.
A husband?
Well, in every respect but the form, and that, my dear, may be said over us at any time. Friends should not insist upon ceremonies. From a man of honour, his word is as good as his bond.
'Tis the pleasure of all you men of honour to insult the women you've ruined.
At the earliest convenience, my dear, you shall be my wife in whatever manner you please.
Insinuating monster! Do you think I know nothing of the affair with Miss Polly Peachum? I could tear thy eyes out.
Sure, Lucy, you cannot be such a fool as to be jealous of Polly.
Are you not married to her, you brute, you?
Married? Very good. The wench puts it about only to vex thee, and to ruin me in thy good opinion. Sure, I'd go to the house. I'd chat with the girl. I'd kiss her. I say 1,000 things, as all men do, that mean nothing, to divert myself. And now the silly jade has set it about that I am married to her, to let me know what she would be at that. Indeed, Lucy, these violent passions may be of ill consequence to a woman in your condition.
Oh, come, Captain. For all your assurances, you know that she'd put it out of your power to do me the justice you promised me.
A jealous woman believes everything her passion suggests. To convince you of my sincerity, if you can find the ordinary, I shall have no scruples in making you my wife, and I know the consequences of having two at a time.
That you might be hanged and so get rid of them both.
I am ready, Lucy, to give you satisfaction if you think there is any in marriage. What can a man of honour say more?
So it seems you're not then married to Miss Polly.
Lucy, you know the girl is prodigiously conceited. No man can say a civil thing to her, but like other fine ladies, her vanity makes her think he's her own forever and ever. When women consider their own beauties, they are all alike, unreasonable in their demands, for they expect their lovers should like them as long as they like themselves.
Yonder is my father. Perhaps this way we may light upon the ordinary, who will try, if he is as good as your word. For I long to be made an honest woman.
In this last affair, brother Peachum, we are agreed. You have consented to go halves in McKeith.
We shall never fall out about an execution. But as to that article, pray, how stands our last year's account?
If you will run your eye over it, you'll find 'tis fair and clearly stated.
This long arrear of the government is very hard upon us. Can it be expected that we should hang our own acquaintance for nothing, when our betters will hardly save theirs unless they're paid for it? Unless the people in employment pay better, I promise for the future, I shall let other rogues live besides their own.
Perhaps they are afraid these matters may be carried too far. We are treated too by them with contempt, as if our profession were not reputable.
In one respect, indeed, our employment may be reckoned dishonest, because, like great statesmen, we encourage those who would betray their friends.
Such language, brother, anywhere else might turn to your prejudice. Learn to be more guarded, I beg you.
Here's Ned Clinch's name, I see. There was a funny little proceeding in Ned's case, for he told me at the condemned hold that for value received, you had promised him a sessions or two longer without molestation.
Mr. Peachum, this is the first time my honour was ever called into question.
Business is at an end. If once we act dishonourably.
Who accuses me?
You are warm, brother.
He that attacks my honour, attacks my livelihood. And this usage, sir, is not to be borne.
Since you provoke me to speak, I must tell you too, that Mrs. Coaxer charges you of defrauding her of her information money for the apprehension of curl-plated Hugh. Indeed, brother, if we do not pay our spies promptly, we shall have no information.
Is this language to me, sirrah, who have saved you from the gallows
Sir, if I am to be hanged, it shall be for ridding the world of an arrant rascal.
Let this hand do the office of the halter you deserve and throttle you, you dog!
Brother! Brother! We are both in the wrong. We shall both lose out from this affair, for you know we have it in our power to hang each other. You should not be so passionate.
Nor you so provoking.
'Tis our mutual interest. 'Tis for the interest of the world that we should agree. If I said anything to the prejudice of your character, brother, I ask pardon.
Brother Peachum, I can forgive, as well as resent. Give me your hand. Suspicion does not become a friend.
I only meant to give you an occasion to justify yourself. But I must step home, for I expect a gentleman about this hour, about a snuff box that filched Nims 2 nights ago in the park. I appointed him at this hour.
Whence come you, hussy?
My tears might answer that question.
Oh. So you have then been whimpering and fondling like a spaniel over the fellow that hath abused you.
One can't help love, one can't cure it. 'Tis not in my power to obey you, to hate him.
Learn to bear your husband's death like a reasonable woman. 'Tis not the fashion nowadays so much as to affect sorrow upon these occasions. No woman would ever marry had she not the chance of mortality for a release. Act like a woman of spirit, hussy. Thank your father for what he's doing. Lucy.
Is that his face decreed so? Is that his fate decreed?
There is no saving him.
Such a man can I think of quitting? Such a man can I bear to quit? When first we met, so moves me yet. Oh, how my heart is splitting. When first we met, so moves me yet. Oh, how my heart is split.
I think you must even do like other widows. Buy yourself weeds and be cheerful. Like a good wife, go moan over your dying husband. That, child, is your duty. Consider, girl, you can't have the man and the money too. So make yourself as easy as you can by getting all you can from him.
day, my dear. I hope upon the first opportunity you will quiet my scruples. Oh, sir, my father's heart was not to be softened, and I am in the utmost distress.
But if I could raise a small sum, would not 20 guineas think you move him? In all the arguments of the way of business, the perquisite is the most prevailing. Why, your father's perquisites for the escape of prisoners must amount to quite a considerable sum in the year. Money well timed and properly applied will do anything.
What love all money can be done shall be done. All my comfort depends upon this.
Where is my dear husband? Was a rope ever intended for his neck? Oh, let me throw my arms about it and throttle thee with love. Turn away from me. 'Tis thy Polly, 'tis thy wife.
Was there ever such an unfortunate rascal as I am?
Was there ever such a villain?
Oh, Macheath, was it for this we parted? Taken, imprisoned, tried, hanged, cruel reflection. I'll stay with thee till death. No force shall tear thy dear wife from thee now. What means my love? Not one kind word, not one kind look. Think what thy Polly suffers to see thee in this condition.
I must disown her. The wench is distracted.
Am I then built on my virtue? Can I have no reparations? Sure, men were born to lie and women to believe them. Oh, villain, villain!
Am I not thy wife? Thy neglect of me, thy aversion of me too severely proves it. Look on me! Tell me, am I not thy wife?
Perfidious wretch!
Barbarous husband!
Hadst thou been hanged 5 months ago, I'd been happy.
And I too. If thou had been kind to me till death, it would not have vexed me, and that's no very unreasonable request, though from a wife to a man who has not about 7 or 8 days to live.
Art thou then married to another? Hast thou 2 wives, monster?
If women's tongues may cease for an answer, hear me.
I will not! Flesh and blood can't bear my usage.
Shall I not claim my own? Justice bids me speak.
How happy could I be with either, were the other each other away? But while you love tea
Surely there ought to be some preference shown to a wife. At least she may claim the appearance of it. He must be distracted in his misfortunes, or he could not use me thus.
Oh, villain, villain! Thou hast deceived me. I could even inform against thee with pleasure. Not a prude wishes more to have backs against her intimate acquaintances than I now wish to have against thee. I would have my satisfaction, and they were all out.
Be pacified, my dear Lucy. This is all but a fetch of Polly's to make me desperate with you in case I get off. Well, if I were to be hanged, she would fain have the credit of being thought my widow. Really, Polly, this is no time for a dispute of this sort. For whenever you are talking of marriage, I'm thinking of hanging.
And hast thou the heart to persist in disowning me?
And hast thou the heart to persist in persuading me that I am married? Why, Polly, dost thou seek to aggravate my misfortunes?
Really, Miss Peacham, you but expose yourself. Besides, 'tis barbarous of you to worry a gentleman in his circumstances.
Cease your fuming, force and cunning. Never shall my heart entrap. All these sallies are but malice to seduce my constant man. These most certain lines of hunting, women obstinate be sure. These two women others willing, never finding their own. Cease your fuming, force and cunning. Never shall my heart entrap. All these sallies are but malice to seduce my constant Decency, madam, methinks might teach you to behave yourself with some reserve with the husband, while his wife is present.
Seriously, Polly, this is carrying the joke a little far.
If you are certain to raise disturbance in the prison, I shall be forced to send the turnkey to show you to the door. I am sorry, madam, that you forced me to be so ill bred.
Give me leave to tell you, madam. These forward airs don't become you in the least, madam. And my duty, madam, obliges me to stay with my husband, madam. Why, if you just must chatter, and are you feeling hurt, let's try your best as a matter of Madam Flat.
is hanged, hang yourself to make your family some amends.
Oh, Father, do not tear me from him. I must speak. I have more to say to him. Oh, twist thy fetters about me, that he may not hold me from thee.
Oh, sure. All women are alike. For if ever they commit a folly, why, they are sure to commit another by exposing themselves. Away! Not a word more. You are my prisoner now, lassie.
I am naturally compassionate, wife, so I could not use the wench as she deserved, which made you at first believe there was something in what she said.
Well, indeed, my dear, I was strangely puzzled.
Well, if that had been the case, her father would never have brought me into this circumstance. Oh, Lucy, I would rather die than be false to thee.
How happy am I if you say this from your heart? For I love thee so. I could sooner bear to see thee hanged in the arms of another.
But couldst thou bear to see me hanged?
I could never live to see that day.
You see, Lucy, in the account of love, you are in my debt. And it must now be clear to you that I would rather choose to die than be another's. Or make me, if possible, love you more and let me owe my life to thee. If you refuse to assist me, Peacham and your father will immediately put me beyond all means of escape.
My father, I know, has been drinking hard with the prisoners, and I fancy he's now taking a nap in his room. If I can procure the keys, shall I go off with thee, my dear?
If we are together, 'twill be impossible for me to lie concealed.
Oh.
When the search begins to a little cool, then I shall send for thee. Until then, my heart is thy prisoner.
Come then, owe thy life to me, and though thou love me not, be but grateful, for that Polly Peacham runs in my head strangely.
A moment of time may make us unhappy forever.
To be sure. Wench, you must have been aiding and abetting to help him to this escape.
Sir, here have been both Peacham and his daughter Polly, and to be sure they know the ways of Newgate as well as if they've been born and bred here their whole lives. Why was your suspicion alight upon me?
Lucy, I will have none of these shuffling answers.
Well, if I know anything of him, I wish I may be burnt.
Keep your temper, Lucy. I shall pronounce you guilty.
I do wish I may be burnt. What more can I say to persuade thee?
Did he tip handsomely? How much did he come down with? Come on, hussy! Don't cheat your father and I shall not be angry with you. Perhaps you have made a better bargain with him than I could have done. How much, my good girl?
You know, sir, that I'm fond of him and would have given money to have kept him with me.
Lucy. So, you have let him escape, have you?
When a woman loves, a kind look, a tender word can persuade her to anything, and I could ask no other bride.
Thou wilt always be a vulgar slut, Lucy. If you would not be looked upon as a fool, you should never do anything but upon the foot of interest. Those that act otherwise are their own bubbles.
I could murder that impudent tappy strumpet. Notwithstanding all he swore, I am now fully convinced that Polly Peacham is his wife. Did I let him go, fool that I was to go to her? She will wheedle herself into his money, and then Peacham will hang him and cheat us both.
So, I am to be ruined because, forsooth, you must be in love. A very pretty excuse.
I gave him his life, and that creature enjoys the sweets of it. Oh, grateful lady!
And so, after all this mischief, I remain to be entertained by your caterwauling. Miss Puss! Out of my sight! You wanton strumpet! You shall fast. And mortify yourself into reason, with now and then a little handsome discipline to bring you to your senses. Go! Chum then intends to outwit me in this affair, but I'll be even with him. The dog is leaky in his liquor, so I'll ply him that way. Get the secret from him and turn this affair to my own advantage. Lions, wolves and vultures don't live together in herds, droves or flocks. Of all animals of prey, man is the only sociable one. Each one of us preys upon our neighbours, yet we herd together. Peachum is a companion, a friend. According to all the customs of the world, indeed, he may quote thousands of precedents for cheating me. Or shall not I make use of this privilege of friendship to make him a return? Now, Peachum, you and I, like honest tradesmen, are to undergo a fair trial. Which of us two can overreach the other?
I'm sorry, gentlemen, the road is so barren of money. But when my friends are in difficulties, I am always glad that my fortune may be certain to. You see, my friends, I am not a mere court friend who professes everything but will do nothing. But we gentlemen have still honour enough to break through the corruptions of this world. And while I may serve you, you may command me.
It breaks my heart to see so generous a man involved in such difficulties as to oblige him to live with such ill company and herd with gangsters.
See the partiality of mankind. One man may steal a horse, better than another look over a hedge. Of all mechanics, of all servile handicraftsmen, a gamester is the vilest. And yet, as many of the quality of the profession, they're admitted amongst the politest of company. I wonder, we're not more respected.
There is to be deep play tonight at Marybone, and consequently, money may be picked up on the road. Meet me there tonight, and I'll give you the hint who is worth setting.
That tall fellow with the ginger hair, I hear, is never without money.
Sure, man. You can't think of meddling with him. He's a good, honest sort of fellow, and one of us.
To be sure, we will put ourselves under your direction.
Have an eye on the money lenders. A rouleau or two would make a pretty sort of expedition. I hate extortion.
These rouleaus are a very pretty thing. I hate your bank bills. There's such a hazard in putting them off.
There is a certain gentleman of distinction who, in his time, hath nicked me out of a good deal of the ready. He is in my cash bin. I'll point him out to you tonight, and you shall draw upon him for the debt of the company I met. I hear the dice box in the other room. So, gentlemen, your servant, you'll meet me a Marybone.
The coronation account, brother, is of so intricate a nature that I believe it will never be settled.
It consists indeed of a great variety of articles. It was worth to our people, in fees of different kinds, above 10 installments. This, Brother Lockett, is the account that lies open before us.
A lady's tale of rich brocade, I see, is disposed of.
To Mrs. Diana Strapes, the tally woman. And she'll make a good hand on tin shoes and slippers to trick out young ladies Upon their going into deeping,
But I don't see any article of the jewels.
those were so well known, they must be sent abroad. And you'll find them under the article of transportation. As for the snuff boxes, watches and knives, I thought it best to enter them under their several heads.
7 and 20 women's pockets complete, with the several things therein contained, all sealed, numbered and entered.
But, Brother Lockett, it is impossible for us to enter upon this further. We should have the whole day before us. Besides, the half account of the last half year's plate is in a book by itself which lies at the other office.
Bring us then more liquor!
Aye.
Today shall be for pleasure, and tomorrow for business. Oh, brother, those daughters of ours are two slippery hussies. Keep a watchful eye upon Polly, and McKeith in a day or two will be our own again.
But what signifies capturing the bird if your daughter Lucy will set open the door of the cage?
Well, if men were answerable for the frailties and follies of our wives and daughters, well, no good friends could keep a correspondence together for 2 days. This is unkind of you, sir. For among good friends, what they say or do goes for nothing.
Sir, Mrs. Dilatrix wants to speak with you.
Shall we admit her, Brother Lockett?
By all means. She is a good customer and a fine spoken woman. And a woman who drinks and talks so freely will enliven the conversation.
Desire her to walk in. Dear Mrs. Di, your servant. One can tell by your aroma that your gin is excellent.
I always was very curious in my liquors.
There is no perfumed breath like it.
Fill it up. I take as large a draught in liquor as I did in love. I hate a flincher in either. Now, Mr. Peacham, to our business. If you have any blacks brought in of late, manteaus, velvet scarves, petticoats, I am your chap. For my ladies are very fond of mourning.
Look ye, Mrs. Di, you deal so hard with us, and we can scarce afford to pay the gentlemen who venture their lives for the goods, little or nothing.
The hard times oblige me to go very near in my dealing. To be sure, of late years I have been a great sufferer by the Parliament. £3,000 would hardly make amends. The Act for the destruction of the mint was a great cut upon our business. Till then, if a customer stepped out of the way, we knew where we had her. No doubt you know Mrs. Coaxer. There's a wench. Till today, with a suit of clothes high upon her back, and I could not set eyes on her for 3 months together. Since the Act 2 against imprisonment for small sums, my loss thereto have been very considerable. And it must be so, when a lady can borrow a clean petticoat or a handsome gown, and I not have the least hank upon her, and oh my conscience! Nowadays most ladies delight in cheating, when they can do it with safety.
Madam, you had a handsome gold watch of us the other day for 7 guineas. Considering we must make a profit, why, for a gentleman upon the road, a gold watch will scarce be worth the taking.
Consider, Mr. Peacher, that watch was remarkable and not a very safe sale. Now, if you have any black velvet scarves, they make a handsome winter wear and take well with the gentlemen that deal with my customers. 'Tis I that set the ladies upon a good foot. 'Tis not youth or beauty that fixes their price, for the gentlemen always pay according to the dress, from half a crown to 2 guineas. I've often said, you know, oh goodness me, and accounted too for accidents. I have 11 fine customers down under the surgeon's hands, and what with fees and other expenses, there are great goings out and no comings in, and not a penny to pay for a month's clothing. We run great risks indeed.
As I recall, you said something about Mrs. Coaxer.
To be sure.
I left her about 2 hours ago after having taken a suit of mine own clothes with a lover where she should be at my house. She called him upstairs as he was off to Marybone in a hackney coach, and I hope for her sake she convinces the captain to repay her. The captain always was very generous with the ladies.
What, Captain?
He thought I did not recognise him. An intimate acquaintance of yours, Peacham. Only Captain McHeath, as fine as the Lord.
Dear Mrs. Di, tomorrow you shall set your price upon any of the goods you so desire. We have at least a dozen velvet stuffs, all at your service. Will you let me present you with the gift of a fine suit of night clothes for your own wearing? But are you sure it was Mr. McHeath?
Though he thought I did not recognise him, nobody knows him better. I have taken a great deal of the captain's money in my time at second hand, for he always did like his ladies well dressed.
Mr. Lockett and I have a little business with the captain. You understand me. And we will satisfy you of Mrs. Coax's debt.
Depend upon it, we will deal like men of honour.
I don't inquire after affairs. Whatever it is, I wash my hands on. 'Twas always my maxim, one friend should assist another. But if you don't mind, I'll take one of those scarves with me. It's always good to have something in hand.
Jealousy, rage, love and fear at once tearing me to pieces. Oh, how I'm weather-beaten and shattered with distresses. I have the rat's bane ready. I can run no risk, for I will lay her death upon the gin, and so many die that naturally that I shall never be called into question. But were to be hanged, I could never be hanged for anything that would give me greater comfort than the poisoning of that slut.
Madam, Miss Polly, here to wait upon you.
Dear madam, your servant. I hope you'll pardon my passions when I was so happy to see you last. Indeed, I was so overrun with spleen that I was quite out of myself. And really, when one hath the spleen, everything is to be excused by a friend. I hope all our quarrels might have so comfortable a reconciliation.
I have no excuse for my own behaviour, madam, but my misfortunes. And really I suffer too upon your account.
But, Miss Polly, in the way of friendship, you give me leave to pose a glass of cordial to you.
Strong waters are apt to give me the headache. I hope, madam, you'll excuse me.
Not the greatest lady in the land, but better in her private closet for her own drinking. You seem mighty low in spirits, my dear.
I'm sorry, but my health will not allow me to accept of your offer. I should not have left with the rude manner I did when we met last, had not my papa hauled me away so unexpectedly. I was indeed somewhat provoked. I may have used some expressions that were, perhaps, disrespectful. But really the captain treated me with so much contempt and cruelty that I deserved your pity rather than your resentment.
But since his escape, no doubt all matters are behind us. Ah, Polly, Polly. 'Tis I am the unhappy wife, and he loves you as if you were only his mistress.
Oh, but really you cannot think me so happy as to be the object of your jealousy. A man is always afraid of a woman who loves him too well, so that I must expect to be neglected and avoided.
Then our cases, my dear Polly, are exactly alike. Love is so very whimsical in both the sexes that it is impossible to be lasting. But my heart is particular and contradicts my own observation.
But really, by the captain's last behaviour, I think I ought to envy you. When I was forced from him, he did not show the least tenderness, but perhaps he had a heart not capable of it. The coquettes of both sexes are self-lovers, and that is a love no other whatever can dispossess. I hear, Lucy, our husband is one of those.
But away with these melancholy reflections, indeed, my dear, we're both of us a cut too low. Allow me to prevail upon you to accept of my offer. Come, sweet loves, let's party. even with that hypocritical strumpet.
All this wheedling of Lucy could not be for nothing. And at this time too, and I know she hates me. The dissembling of a woman is always the forerunner of mischief. By pouring strong waters down my throat, she hopes to punch some secrets out of me. Well, I'll be upon my guard, and won't taste a drop of her liquor, I'm resolved.
Come, Miss Polly.
Indeed, child, you have given yourself trouble to no purpose. You must excuse me.
I say you're as squeamish about taking a cup of strong waters as a lady before company. Why bow? I shall take it monstrous ill if you refuse my offer. Brandy and men, though we women love them ever so well, are always taken by us with some reluctance, unless 'tis in private.
Really, madam, I must protest, for it goes against me. What's this I see? The king again comes to me! Now every lyric of happiness is lost!
Since things are thus, I'm glad the wench had escaped, for 'tis evident she was not happy enough to deserve to be poisoned.
Set your heart to rest, Captain. You have neither the chance of love or money for another escape, for you are ordered to be called down upon your trial immediately.
Away, hussies! This is no time for a man to be hampered by his wives, for you see, the man is in chains already.
Oh, husband, husband, my heart longed to see thee, but to see thee thus distressed.
You're not my dear husband, look upon his folly. Why hast thou not flown to me for protection? With me thou hast been saved.
What would you have me say? Ladies, you see this affair will soon be at an end, without my disobliging either of you.
The settling of this point, Captain, might prevent a lawsuit between your two widows.
But surely if his own misfortunes have made him insensible to mine, a father will be more compassionate. Oh, sir, sing the material evidence to bring him off at his trial, while he upon her knees begs it of you.
If Peacham's heart is not to be softened, sure you will, sir, have more compassion on a daughter. I know the material evidence is in your hands. What? How then can you be a tyrant to me?
Keith's time is come, Lucy. We know our business, therefore let us have no more whimpering or whining.
Set your heart at rest, Polly. Your husband dies today. Therefore, if you are not already provided for, it is high time to look about you for another. There is comfort for you.
We are ready, sir. Conduct you to the Old Bailey.
The charge is prepared, the lawyers are met, a judge all arranged, a terrible show. I go undismayed, for death is a debt on demand, so take what you owe. So farewell, my lovers, did charmers adieu. Contented I die, 'tis the better for you. Thus ends all disputes for the rest of our lives. For this way at once, I please both of my wives. Judge all arranged, a terrible show. I go undismayed, for death is a debt on demand, so take what you owe. So farewell, my lovers, dear charmers, adieu. Contented I die, 'tis the better for you. Thus ends all disputes for the rest of our lives. For this way at once, I please both of my wives. Now, gentlemen, I am ready to attend you.
Follow them folks to the court, and when the trial is over, bring him a particular account of his behaviour and everything that happened. You'll find me here with Miss Lucy.
Man may escape from rope and gun, nay, some have outlived the doctor's bill, but But who takes a woman must be undone. That basilisk is sure to kill. The fly that sips treacle is lost in the sweets. So he that tastes woman is ruined meat. The fly that sips treacle is lost in the sweets. So he that tastes woman is ruined meat. Since laws are made for every degree to curb vice in others as well as in me, I wonder we hadn't better company upon Tyburn tree. But gold from law can take out the sting, and if rich men like us were to swing, 'twould thin the land, such numbers to string upon Tyburn tree. Since wars are made for every degree to curb vice in others as well as in me, I wonder we had better company upon Tyburn tree. But gold can take out the sting, and if rich men like us were to stay, 'twould thin the land, such numbers to string upon Tyburn tree. String upon Tyburn tree. String. String upon
Some friends of yours, Captain, desire to be admitted. I leave you together.
For my having broke prison, you see, gentlemen, I am ordered immediate execution. The sheriff's officers, I believe, are now at the door. The Jemmy Twitcher should peach me. My own! Surprised me. 'Tis a plain proof that the world is all alike, and that even our gang can no more trust one another than other people. I beg you, gentlemen, look well to yourselves, for in all likelihood, you may live some months longer.
We are heartily sorry for your misfortune, Captain. But 'tis what we all must come to.
Peacham and Lockett, you know, are infamous scoundrels. Their lives are as much in your power as yours are in theirs. Remember your dying friend. 'Tis my last request. Bring those two villains to the gallows before you, and I'm satisfied.
We'll do it.
Ahem. Miss Polly and Miss Lucy entreat a word with you, sir.
Gentlemen. Adieu. My dear Lucy. My dear Polly. Whatsoever hath passed between us is now at an end. if you are fond of marrying again, the best advice I can give you is to ship yourselves off to the West Indies, where you'll have a good chance of finding a husband apiece. Or by good luck, 2 or 3, as you like best.
How can I support this sight?
There is nothing that moves one so as a great amount of distress.
Would I might be hanged, and I would too, to be hanged with you, my dear, with you.
Leave me to thought. I fear, I doubt, I tremble, I droop. See, my courage is out.
Would I might be hanged, and I would too, to be hanged with you, my dear, with you. Would I might be hanged, and I would too, to be hanged with you, my dear, with you. No token of love,
My courage is out.
no token of love. Adieu, farewell. No token of love. Adieu, farewell.
But hark, now I hear the toll of the bell. But hark, now I hear the toll of the bell.
No token of love. Adieu, farewell. No token of love. Adieu, farewell. No token of love. Adieu, farewell.
But hark, now I hear the toll of the bell.
But hark, now I hear the toll of the bell.
4 women more, Captain, with a child apiece. See, here they come.
What? 4 wives more? This is too much. Tell the sheriff's officers I'm ready.
Is something wrong?
Well, you don't really want to kill the heathen, do you?
Oh yeah, I definitely do. There's poetic justice in it. I mean, that king gets hanged, everyone goes home happy.
It's just so depressing. Think about it. Polly's in tears, Lucy's in tears, the audience is in tears. It's tragic, and besides, we have to keep our family-friendly ratings. I can't just hang a man on stage. And operas, oh, they're supposed to have happy endings.
Okay, so La Traviata, La Moët, Madame.
I have an idea that'll work for everybody.
No, you are not doing this to me. Look, my king has to get hanged. The whole point is, if he'd been a rich man and done exactly the same thing, he'd have survived, because he'd have had a safety net to fall back on, but because he's not, because he's got no means, he has to hang. That's the whole point. I will not let years of my life be altered for your family-friendly vote.
It won't sell. Trust me.
Let me see it.
So, it seems I am not left to my choice, but must have a wife at last. Now, look ye, my dears, there will be no controversy now. Let us give this day to mirth, and I am sure she who thinks herself my wife will testify her joys with a dance. Now, ladies, I hope you will give me leave to present a partner to each of you, and if I may, without offence, for this time I take Polly for my own. And for life, for we were married. As for the rest of you, well,